HaWah for Nagaville. And we about to talk Journey of Coronado. This is something I've been looking forward to getting on because I know we're going to unlock so much when we talk about Cibola, the Zuni Cibola, the HaWah. You know, this Coronado expedition going on in New Mexico. You know, again, we don't dig on history. We're finding our own truth, our own path. That's not a history lesson. That's your path. Because something about your path will unlock your future. So you're looking into your future. You're digging on your future when you surf the wave with us. And we ain't no hit story. We're talking about our story, my nigga. This ain't his story. Lego, man. First off, man. First and foremost, man. You know what I'm saying? All praise HaWah for you, my 500 code keepers. The way you've been showing up from day one, let me believe that this is possible. Let us believe that this is what's happening, my nigga. We need you. We need my niggas. We need every bit of you. Instead of putting that $20 that way, throw it towards the fence for Joy World, my nigga, and help a Naga build a fence and do something that's, you know, always going to be remembered, man. We're going to make sure all my Nagas, you know what I'm saying, we're going to get your names, you know, on each of the fence posts. You know, all my Nagas going to have a nice little fence post so everybody knows, man, who the contributors are, you know, right here. Blue, purple, red, white, linen, gold thread. Help us build a fence. We are halfway, my Nagas, over halfway. We have passed the halfway mark on to our $10,000 goal. Help us get the rest of the way. Don't just start something that you ain't going to finish, my Naga, because we ain't going to, you know what I'm saying, stop, man. The drop don't stop, you know what I mean? So we continue. We ask you to continue. Ahab to all the, you know, contributors that's already been such a wall of protection for all Drop Nation. Kara Mayo, Robert Skorupa. I know we got some more down here. Contessa Taylor, Roy Jackson, Congeli Holmes, Amari Marsh, Dragon Child, Roosevelt Parks, Eric Mays. I've been trying to get redacted together for the tribe as well. In Utah, can't wait to add it into another piece for Nagaville. Pics coming soon. When I touch down, I want to meet up with you and the tribe and the tribe in real time because we rockin' Drop Nation. Hey, man, it's KTC forever and the Most High over everything. And that's not a quote. It's Abba, Big Daddy, and Amma, Big Mama, knowledge and wisdom that's guiding us. And I'm proud of you and everyone who really walk in the truth. Halal HaWah. Hey, man, Eric May, man, we do it for you. He said, I do it for the tribe. I can't wait to see everybody rocking in that blue, purple, red, white linen, gold thread, man. I got you, Khan. I got you. Man, how good does that feel? Gary Stewart, he said, it's time. That's how we feeling, my Naga. That's how we feeling. And we see you popping off. Charmaine, Halal HaWah. We see you. Gary Stewart, Ahab. We see you. Lenny Gray. We see you. Mac Daniels. We see you. Juanita Riaco. All my anonymous family. We see you. Derek Jordan. Audrey Young. Rashad Young. Eric Mays, bro. Templar, Irvin Reed. DeMar Miller, Shyla McIntosh, all the anonymous family, Jerkery Strickland, Raquel Early, man, Frederick Edison, the list goes on, man. Stephen Fennell, Lance Ross, Trisha Turner, Abiyah, and so many more, man. Hey, we see you. We see you, my Nagas. We see you, man. My Nagas been putting it in 10, 20, 50, 200, you know what I mean? Just if you got more, we appreciate that because it's covering for some other code-keeping Nagas, you know what I'm saying? So we all here. We got at least 500 code keepers. $20 a piece gets us to that 10,000 overnight, my Nagas. So this is what we want to get to. That's that ruach, you know what I'm saying, of connection, you know what I'm saying? When we're connected, when we are connected in battle time, man, we tribing up like this, we going to put this fence together right before your eyes, man. It's all happening, man, for us to witness. So be a witness with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all happening. You see it happening. You see what we do it for. we've been crystallized. You know, we might not have known exactly, you know what I'm saying, what we were doing in the very beginning. Like, we didn't know, you know what I'm saying? But right now we do know. Halal HaWah, like my bro Eric May said, man. We got Big Mama, we got Abba, frame and shape, we got the knowledge and the wisdom. You got that discernment. That's what we're getting to. So, Nagaz, we appreciate you. All of you who have donated are going to get a beautiful amethyst crystal. Love to Chef Condi picking up these great crystals for the tribe. So all you're going to get your beautiful amethyst. And, you know, that's just our show of appreciation, of course, and just to share that frequency. Because when you give a crystal, you know, it's a frequency exchange, and we want to make sure we're giving you that positive vibration, man, and just giving you the AHOB. So make sure, make sure that we got your shipping information. If you do want your crystal, if you donated, AHOB to all my Nagas who contributed on Cash App. So many of my Nagas, you know what I'm saying, hit us up on there. If you want to hit us up on Cash App, hit us up 432 The Drop Radio. 432 The Drop Radio to help us build our fence for Joy World. And AHOP to all my Nagas, dropping it on PayPal. All the links are below, my Nagas. So however you're getting it, the water to the tribe, we're getting it done. So far with what we got right now, we can get things going like supplies. You know, we need a container so we can put everything in our container and, you know, have everything secure, you know what I mean? So all my Nagas can make their trips down to Joy World. And, you know, we're going to work and just nice little rotations, man. We're going to do it, you know what I mean? Move stealth, my Naga. We always move stealth around here. But if you want to know more, you can hit us up and build a relationship. You know, we can't trust you overnight. We don't know who you are per se. You know what I'm saying? You got to respect that. But, you know, we can at least build a rapport, you know what I'm saying? Build some frequency exchange. Get up in the drop chatter, you know what I'm saying? Let us know who you are, where you come from, what's going on, man. So that we can build a trustable relationship, you know what I mean? But until then, this is a way to support and see it happen in real time, because what we're building right now, we don't know who we're building it for. It's not like we're building it for Drop's family. It's not like we're building it for just the battle family. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, like we don't know who this is going to be for, you know, but we're going to keep doing it is all we know. This is the beginning. Help us build our fence. We're going to hit that tile. We're going to hit this mark, and we're going to move on to another tile, another checkpoint. We're going to work on our well. We're going to make sure we got them shelters built, you know what I'm saying? So Nagas can have shelter, some heating, some plumbing. We're going to need all that. We got Nagas that's already, you know, just, you know, came and said, hey, you know, how can I be of service? You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate all my Nagas. You know who you are. I'll be reaching out to you. And thank you for your service, man. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, HaWah, for supplying real code keepers, because you might not be able to do you know, something over here, but you could do something over there. Like, you know what you good at. Like, you know what you can offer for HaWah. But we got the land. We got the land, my Naga. You know what I'm saying? We know that one day we won't have to buy land, but right now we got to buy land, right? So we bought the land, you know. It's a beautiful acre, you know, and, you know, we don't drop locations and all that, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, we got families. We got security. This is how we move. We don't put everything on YouTube that we're doing. We don't, you know what I'm saying? But I do check in over here, let my Nagas know that we moving. So we need your help to motivate. We need your help to activate. Let's get to the rest of our goal here so we can move on to another goal. Or at least make sure this goal is A1. Make sure we got everything we need for it. Make sure it's solid. Make sure this fence is not just an ordinary fence, my Naga. Make sure it's a real wall of protection for the Nagas. You know what I'm saying? A strong fence. We want a strong fence to cover an entire acre of land, man. So we don't know. It's going to get pricey. But with my 500 code keepers, we going to hit this tile. We going to hit this checkpoint, my Naga. Enough said, right? Say less, they say, right? Say less. So we got to say less, and we got to do all action, all activate. Halal HaWah. Hey, click the link below. Pause the video. It's just a video. Pause it, and please support my Naga. AHOB to my 500 code keeping Nagas. Cause you know they sent a Negro to pacify the native Nagas in America, man. They sent a Negro to pacify the native Nagas in America, man. I need you to let that sink in. I need you to ask, why a Negro? Because when we talk about the definition, of a American in 1828, we've been talking about it. Some Nagas say, hey, man, why y'all keep talking about the same thing, Drop? That's old information. Man, that's action. That's activation information. That's action information. That's the type of information that make you activate. So we got to repeat it as many times as we hear we black. We got to repeat 1828, Noah Webster Dictionary, copper color race is found here. As many times as we keep hearing African American, we got to repeat you indigenous, you original, you original, you original. Don't tell us it's old information. Tell the hijack that it's old information. Tell the hijack, man, that's some old hijack. They gonna keep on bringing that old bullshit. They're gonna keep bringing you a ball. Oh, that flat earth stuff is old news. Not when Nagaz is still spinning on a damn ball. Naga, you know how many Nagas in every city in their minds are still spinning on a ball? That's not no bull crap, man. That's real spill. You gotta feel for these Nagas, because they'll never have a still moment in their entire life. They're gonna be spinning around at 1,000 miles per hour, man. They're gonna be spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. Don't tell us it's old information. It's activation information. It's action information. We about that action, man. No play. Say less. No play. Help us build our fence. We gonna remember who you are. We're gonna make sure we write your name on the wall, my nigga. Get your name on the wall. With my 500 code keepers. Get your name on the wall with my 500 code keepers, my nigga. Get your name on the wall with my 500 code keepers. Man, my code keepers is real. They can't tell us the code keepers ain't real. So once we know we out here, now we know who we are. Cool. Because my Naga, even if we only had 50, because I say 500 code keeping Nagas, but hey, it could only be, 50 families so far. All these years of talking to keeping the code, we might have activated only 50 families. But those 50 families will be 500. So we speaking it into existence, 500 code keeping families. 5,000 code keeping families. You dig? 50,000 code keeping families. Can you imagine what we can do together? This might only be 50. But you can't laugh at that, man, because that's 50 code keeping families. That means we can come together and make moves. We can put up $1,000 a piece towards something. We can put up 500 a piece towards something. We can make moves. 50 code keeping families, man. That's beautiful. So, hey, we speaking to the 500 because we activate and we about that action. And we know that what we do as 50 is going to spark off to 500. And what we do as 500 is going to spark off to 5 million code keeping families. Yeah, I'm feeling good, my Naga. How about you? Hey, let's go ahead and bring it in, my Naga. Let's bring this on in, man. Let's bring it on in, man. Let's bring it on in. Relax, man. Fall back. Let me adjust my fireplace, my Naga. Let me adjust my. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay. Yeah. So in 15 such and such. In 15 such and such, they send a Negro to pacify these Nagas right here in America. And you got to ask, why send a Negro, my Naga? If the Native Americans are who they say they are, why didn't they send somebody that looked like them? Why they send this Negro from Morocco, man? Mustafa. Yeah, the real Mustafa. Azamore. Estebanico. Stephen, their Christ. Yeah, that's their JC. This Negro, this Moor from Morocco is their actual JC, man. This is your Yahweh, y'all. He's the child of the sun, you know what I mean? Son. He's the son. Yeah, man. Stephen the Christ is venerated at the same time as JC's birthday on December 26th. Look it up, Stephen the Christ. Esteban is their venerated idol. This is their Christ. This is their Christ, man. This Negro is their Christ. They sent their Negro, Zeus. Remember, Zeus is a Negro. Hell, Zeus, hey, Zeus. Jesus is a Negro. Zeus is black. Ham is black. Zeus is black. Ra is black. Black. Charles Kento is black. The Holy Roman Empire, emperor in the 1500s. In the 1500s, that nigga black. Charles V is black. King James is black. King David is a copper color Khan. But we all look alike, you know, all these black tribes, right? We all look alike. But why would they send a black man to pacify these natives? Unless these natives look just like this so-called black man, right? We must have looked just like this Negro. If they sent that as a representative to pacify us, the same way they did Obama. Obama had Nagaz on their knees, begging, please, let this be our time. Man, you got set back so many years. You got set back so many years. Pacify. Right when you're about to pop off, they pacify with somebody that look like you, Khan. So why did they send a Negro to the Americas in 15 such and such? Well, I got the book. Man. The Journey of Coronado, 1540 to 1542, translated and edited by George Parker Winship. Introduction by Donald C. Cutter. We don't have a PDF of this one, but I want you to, kick back by the fireplace. I'm gonna read a couple things, and you let me know why they sent us a Negro. Like, why would they send a Negro to America to pacify who? Who's being pacified? Must be people that look like this Negro. So that's a body bag, Daniel. Body bag for the illusion on who the copper color Khans are. Don't come over here claiming through your genealogy you indigenous to America, but they sent a Negro to pacify these Americans. So these Negroes are the originals in America. This is Nagaville, my nigga. They sent a Negro to pacify the Naga. Because the Negro, was able to assimilate around these Nagas. They couldn't send no white boy. They couldn't send nobody that looked so-called Japanese, Chinese. They couldn't send somebody that looked like a so-called Native American today. They sent them a Negro, my nigga, from Africa. From Morocco, to pacify Americans, man. That gotta tell you what these people look like. I gotta tell you something. Let's go. Don Antonio Mendoza, the good viceroy, had been at the head of the government of New Spain for 2 years when Cabeza de Vaca arrived in Mexico. The effects of his careful and intelligent administration were already beginning to appear in the increasing prosperity of the province and the improved condition of the colonists and of their lands. The authority of the viceroy was ample and extensive, although he was limited to some extent by the audiencia, the members of which had administered the government of the province since the retirement of Cortés. The viceroy was the president of this court, which had resumed more strictly judicial functions after his arrival, and he was officially advised by his instructions from the king to consult with his fellow members on all matters of importance. Nuno de Guzman departed for New Spain, that's Mexico, my nigga, right? So he's coming to Mexico in 1528 and became the head of the first audiencia. Within a year, he had made himself so deservedly unpopular that when he heard that Cortez was coming back to Mexico from Spain with the new title of Marquis and fresh grants of power from the king, he thought it best to get out of his way of his rival without relinquishing the title to his position in the capital city. Guzman collected a considerable force and marched away toward the west and north, determined to win honor and security by new conquests. He explored and subdued the country for a considerable distance along the eastern shores of the Gulf of California. This is where they're at in 1528, my nigga. He's a splinter cell that broke off to try to get some clout. So he's over there just destroying the natives of California, the Nagaz of California. Let's go. But he could find nothing there to rival the Mexico of Montezuma. Meanwhile, reports reached Charles V. Remember what Charles V looked like, right? Let's go. Of the manner in which Guzman had been treating the Indians and the Spanish settlers. And so March 17th, 1536, the king appointed the licentiate Diego Perez de la Torre to take the residencia of Guzman. So again, we got him in a body bag, my naga, because we know what Charles V looked like. There's pages of him left and right, so we know that's a copper tone naga, right? So, I mean, a regular brother. So they're reporting directly to this brother, right? They're reporting directly. Meanwhile, reports reached Charles V of the manner in which Guzman had been treating the Indians and the Spanish settlers. So they're tied into this other tribe of dark people, right? Of melanated people. They're tied in directly to this with this Spanish situation. And these Spaniards are swarthy. This is a more war. I need you to see it clearly. You know, by the time you got anything without melanin, that's much later on. You're talking 1700s and, you know, something, my naga. But this is what's happening. And this is why they sent a Negro to pacify the natives. Because the natives are Nagas, are Negro, right? They are straight up, you know, the average, you know what I'm saying? The average brother you're going to see anywhere. You know what I'm saying? That's what these natives are looking like. That's what they sent over here to look like you, to pacify you. It says at the same time, Torre was commissioned to replace Guzman as the governor of New Galicia, as this northwest province had been named. The latter had already determined to return to Spain. So New Galicia was where? Somewhere around California. So he returned to Spain, leaving Don Cristobal de Ornate, a model executive and administrative official in charge of his province. Guzman almost succeeded in escaping, but his judge, who had landed at Veracruz by the end of 1536, met him at the Viceroy's palace in Mexico City and secured his arrest before he could depart. After his trial, he was detained in Mexico until June 30, 1538, when he was enabled to leave New Spain by an order which directed him to surrender his person to the officers of the Casa de Contratación at Seville. Guzman lost no time in going to Spain, where he spent the next 4 years in urging his claims to a right to participate in the northern conquest. Torre, the licentiate, had barely begun to reform the abuses of Guzman's government when he was killed in a conflict with some revolted Indian tribes. Onate again took charge of affairs until Mendoza appointed Luis Galindo Chief Justice for New Galicia. This was merely a temporary appointment, however, until a new governor could be selected. The Viceroy's nomination for the position was confirmed by the king in a cedula, cedula, dated April 18, 1539, which commissioned Francisco Vasquez Coronado as governor. Right, so we're going to talk about the Coronado expeditions because this is who's pushing through New Mexico and Colorado and Arizona and all Utah, all that. So here comes this Coronado. He's now governor. Cortez had been engaged ever since his return from Spain in fitting out expeditions which came to nothing, but by which he hoped to accomplish his schemes for completing the exploration of the South Sea. His leisure was more than occupied by his efforts to outwit the agents of the Viceroy and the Audiencia, who had received orders from the king to investigate the extent and condition of the estates held by Cortez. In the spring of 1535, Cortez established a colony on the opposite coast of California, the supposed island of the Marquis, at Santa Cruz, near the modern La Paz. Storms and shipwreck, hunger and surfeiting surfeiting reduced the numbers and the enthusiasm of the men whom he had conducted thither. And when his vessels returned from the mainland with the news that Mendoza had arrived in Mexico and bringing letters from his wife urging him to return at once, Cortez went back to Mexico. A few months later, he recalled the settlers whom he had left at Santa Cruz in accordance, it may be, with the command or advice of Mendoza. When the stories of Cabaza de Vaca suggested the possibility of making desirable conquests towards the north, Cortez possessed a better outfit for undertaking this work than any of the others who were likely to be rivals. Oh, dodge, man, we gotta dodge hijacks sometimes. Boy, we gotta dodge. All right, so check it out. When they're talking about the North, my naga, they're talking about the Americas. Because right now they're around Mexico, what I'm saying, California, more like Baja California. They're talking about pushing north, right, into, the LA territory, what I'm saying, into that Arizona, into that Cibola. So let's keep reading. We're on page 7 of The Journey of Coronado, 1540 to 1542. All right, so Pedro de Alvarado was the least known of these rival claimants. He had been a lieutenant of Cortez until he secured an independent command in Guatemala, Yucatan, and Honduras, where he subdued the natives, but discovered nothing except that there was nowhere in these regions any store of gold or treasure. So they just couldn't find a drop. And again, these are Nagas that look like them, right? So this is a Naga on Naga war. This ain't no white people coming up subduing Nagas. This is Nagas over there, you know what I'm saying, on different tribes of other Nagas that are pursuing other Nagas. You know what I'm saying? This is tribal war. We got to see it, man. Way up into the Tecumseh War, it's still tribal war popping off. What are they talking about? Civil War, Confederate, Union, it's still tribal war going on because you got more and more on different sides of that war. Let me adjust my fireplace. A Lego. All right. So they looking for the gold. They're looking for the treasure. They're looking for the cities of gold. Abandoning this field, he tried to win a share in the conquest of Pizarro and Almagro. He approached Peru from the north and conducted his army across the mountains. This march, one of the most disastrous in colonial history, so completely destroyed the efficiency of his force that the conquerors of Peru easily compelled him to sell them what was left of his expedition. So he got mollywopped. By the indigenous Nagas, It says, this march, one of the most disastrous in colonial history, so completely destroyed the efficiency of his force that the conquerors of Peru easily compelled him to sell them what was left of his expedition. So he got smiley wop. Look, these Nagas don't play. These Nagas weren't playing with these people. So by the time they say slave, like, what are you talking about? These are the same Nagas that was whooping your ass everywhere. You know what I'm saying? We just got put under a hijack frequency. We got put under this sickness and disease and poison, the same stuff they doing to this day, my Naga, to this day. It says they paid a considerable sum, weighed out in bars of silver, which he found after his return to Panama to be made of lead with the silver veneering. So fake silver bars, man. Alvarado was ready to abandon the work of the conquering America and had forwarded a petition to the king asking that he might be allowed to return to Spain with Mendoza or the Audiencia, which was controlled by the enemies of Alvarado, furthered his desires by ordering him to go to the mother country and present himself before the throne. This was in 1536. While at the court, Alvarado must have met Cabeza de Vaca. He changed his plans for making a voyage to the South Seas and secured from the king, whose favor he had easily regained, a commission which allowed him to build a fleet in Central America to explore the South Sea, the Pacific. All right, so this is where they at right now. Not the Atlantic, the Pacific, manat. All right, towards the west or the north. He returned to America early 1539, bringing with him everything needed in the equipment of a large fleet. Mendoza, meanwhile, in 1536 to 1539, had been making plans and preparations. He had not come to the New World as an adventurer. He lacked the spirit of eager, reckless, hopeless, or hopeful expectation of wealth and fame, whose accomplishment so much for the geographical unfolding of the two Americas. Mendoza appears to have arranged his plans as carefully as if he had been about to engage in some intrigue at court. He recognized his rivals and their strength. Nunez de Guzman was in disgrace and awaiting a trial, but he was at the court where he could urge his claims persistently in person. Cortez was active, but he was where Mendoza could watch everything that he tried to do. He might succeed in anticipating the Viceroy's plans, but his sea ventures here heretofore had all been failures. So long as he kept to the water, there seemed to be little danger. Mendoza's chief concern appeared to have been to make sure that his rivals should have no chance of uniting their claims against him. Representing the crown and its interests, he felt sure of everything else. The Viceroy had no ambition to take the field in person as an explorer. So all this stuff about when you watch that cartoon Cities of Gold, like they're just exploring the Andes, like there's some explorers. Nah. They came for war. He didn't want no exploration. He wasn't no adventurer. That Naga wanted that gold by any means necessary, man. And he selected Alvarado as the most available leader for the expedition, which he had in mind probably about the time that the latter came back to the New World. He wrote to Alvarado suggesting an arrangement between them, and after due consideration on both sides, terms and conditions mutually satisfactory were agreed on. Mendoza succeeded in uniting Alvarado to his interests and engaging that he should conduct an expedition into the country North Managa of Mexico. This arrangement was completed apparently before the return of Friar Marcos from his reconnaissance, which added so largely to the probabilities of success. Mendoza did not confine himself to diplomatic measures for bringing about the exploration and conquest which he had in mind. In his undated Premier Lecture, the Viceroy wrote that he was prepared to send Dorantes with 40 or 50 horses and everything needed for an expedition into the interior, but nothing was done. About this time in 1537 to 1538, Friar Juan de la Asuncion seems to have visited the inland tribes north of the Spanish settlements. Mr. Bandelier has presented all the evidence obtainable regarding the labors of this friar. The most probable interpretation of the statements which refer to his wanderings is that Friar Juan went alone and without official assistance, and that he may have traveled as far north as the river Gila, Gila. The details of his journey are hopelessly confused. It is more than probable that there were a number of friars at work among the outlying Indian tribes, and there's no reason why one or more of them may not have wandered north for a considerable distance. During the same year, the Viceroy made an attempt, possibly in person, to penetrate into the country of Topiri or Topia in northwestern Durango, but the mountains and the absence of provisions forced the party to return. It may be that this fruitless expedition was the same as that in which, according to Castaneda, Coronado took part, while Friar Marcos was on his way to Cibola. Cibola. Remember, Cibola is Shimbala, Shabala, all that mythology, right? But it has to do with this area. And I don't know if they could just walk up on it. It might be some type of other dimension. It might be some other realm of existence, my naga. Like, we're talking energy, frequency, and vibration. Let's go. So they've been trying to walk upon the cities of gold, upon Cibola. Let's get it from right here. All right. All right. So remember the question, right? In 15 such and such, right? We're talking the 1530s. They sent a Negro to pacify the native Nagas in America. And the question is, why send a Negro? Why make him look like that to pacify these Americans, right? They can't be Africans, but why send them over here to pacify these natives, right? That apparently look just like him. And that's the body bag for the illusion that this Negro was sent to the Americas to pacify the Indians, man. The Negro came to America to pacify the Indian. Come on, man, and let you know who the Indian is, man. And India superior, man. Let's go. All right, so Coronado took part. Friar Marcos was on his way to Cibola. It was not unlikely also that the Friar Marcos may have made a preliminary trip toward the north during the same year, although this is hardly more than a guess to explain statements made by the old chroniclers, which we cannot understand as yet nothing has been found to verify the reports brought by Cabeza de Vaca, which by themselves were hardly sufficient to justify the equipment of an expedition on a large scale. But Mendoza was bent on discovering what lay beyond the northern mountains. He still had the Negro. He still had the Negro. He still had the Negro Esteban, Stephen their Christ, venerated at the same time as their Christ, December 25th, December 26th. Why worship him at the same damn time if it's not the same damn God? This is their son of God. This is their child of the sun. This is their Stephen. He's venerated. There's churches of Esteban all around the same area today. There's in these pueblos, they have churches of Esteban. Like they're doing it directly. But the Christians is calling him Jesus. But it's the same God because he was the one they chose. He was the one they thought had these magical powers to come find you and to pacify you was everything to them. That gave them access to all the drop. This is who their Christ is. Esteban, my naga. This is who their Yahweh is, my naga. Esteban. This is your Yahweh. This is your Jesus. This is your anointed. He was chosen. Let's go. We cruising through Hijack City. That's why we gotta keep that fire burning, my naga. Let's get a little more for the dismount. Let's go. Mendoza wanted to see what's beyond the mountains. He still had the Negro, Esteban, whom he had purchased of Dorantes, beside a number of Indians who had followed Cabeza de Vaca to Mexico and had been trained there to serve as interpreters. So that's their story, that he was purchased as some slave. It's looking to us that this wasn't no kid. He was in his 20s, man. All right. So, it looked like he's just a part of the get along, go along gang, man. Love to the bro Kwame. You know what I mean? He's a part of go along, get along gang. He ain't no slave, man. He's running things. And he looks just like the person who's really running things, Charles Quinto, Holy Roman Emperor Charles V. They all look just alike. They look just like you and me, my naga. They look just like us, my naga. But they sent a naga that looked just like us, who was really representing them. Because he's Azamore, he's Mustafa, he's Estebanico from Morocco. They know he's not one of us. Stop playing. He came to conquer us. The story that they put on the table is that he's some Negro slave captured. Stop it. This is royalty. This is their royalty. And they sent their very best to pacify the very best in India superior. The superior Indian, the superior Naga. He still had his Negro as the bah. Let's go. The experience which the Negro had gained during the years he lived among the savages. So now we're savages. Now the Naga savages, right? This is how they see us. The 12 tribes of Israel got to be savages to Ham and Cush. You got to get out the mind of a hijack, dog. And we're talking dog-headed, man. Dog-headed tribes. Let's go. Oh, we ain't done with them dog heads. We get right back on that sign of Cephali because they were cursed by their Thoth, by their God, by their Apollo, because they didn't want to worship Apollo no more. So they were cursed with the sign of Cephali. To this day, my noggin. Don't play because we know that dog head is still up on you, Nagas, man. Y'all made these deals with these fallen energies. Got cursed with the dog-headedness. Got cursed with the syphilis. That was why we was not supposed to mix with certain of these tribes, because they had this curse on them, my Naga. It wasn't just that they were, unattractive or, not, some, they got cooties. Well, yeah, that's the cooties. It's the sign of Cephali, you know what I mean? But that's the Atlantis flow. Remember, they moved with permission of the Pharaoh, Atlantis, and Mexim. Dig it, they were cursed. All these inhabitants that rock with this Atlantis got cursed, my Naga. Let's go. Oh, we active, man. Drop Nation, Coom, Halal HaWah. So yeah, this Negro had gained some knowledge during his years he lived among the savages, which made him invaluable as a guide. So he soaked up the drop, right? He was used to dealing with the Indians. He was used to dealing with you Nagas. He mixed in, he assimilated well. This is a real snake in the garden. He knew something of their language. He was practiced in all-important sign manual, So he knew all the signs, my Naga. He can make all the signs, all the communication, right? Friar Marcos de Niza was selected as the leader of the little party, which was to find out what the Viceroy wanted to know, aside from his reconnoitering trip to Cibola. Very little was known about this friar. He thought we was playing with this Kalelus. Kalelus is Cibola, my Naga. This is the kingdom in America. Solomon, King Solomon, Sylvanus Texas of the Toltecs, my Naga. Right here, the Nagas in Nagaville. This is Nagaville. You can't genealogy your way to Cibola, my Naga. Let's go. You're going to have to know popping off. You're going to have that fire burning within you, my Naga. They call that Kundalini. We call that Drakan Kun. Let's go. Halal HaWah. Born in Nice, that's an area, then a part of Savoy, he was called by his contemporaries a Frenchman. We're talking about Marcos de Niza. He had been with Pizarro in Peru and had witnessed the death of Atahualpa. That's a major Khan out there that they killed. Atahualpa, Hualpa. Hawa is always in their names, man. This is how you know we speak in pure water frequency. Not heya. Hawa, Atahualpa. Returning to Central America, very likely with Pedro de Alvarado, he had walked from there barefooted, as was his custom up to Mexico. He seemed to have been somewhere in the northwest provinces of New Spain when Cabeza de Vaca appeared there after his wanderings. A member of the Franciscan Brotherhood, he had already attained to some standing in order, for he signs his report or personal narration of his explorations as vice commissary of the Franciscans, the father provincial of the order, Friar Antonio de Ciudad Rodrigo, on August 26, 1539, certified to the high esteem in which Friar Marcos was held, and stated that he was skilled in cosmography and in the arts of the sea, as well as in theology. Okay. This is getting us to a very important question, my Naga. Let's get this for the dismount. The choice of a leader was beyond question an excellent one, and Mendoza had every reason to feel confident in the success of his undertaking. The viceroy drew up a set of instructions for Friar Marcos, which directed from the Indians whom he met on the way should receive the best of treatment, and provided for the scientific observations which all Spanish explorers were expected to record. Letters were to be left wherever it seemed advisable in order to communicate with the possible sea expedition, and information of the progress of the party was to be sent back to the viceroy at convenient intervals. These instructions are a model of careful and explicit directions and show the characteristic interest taken by Mendoza in the details of everything with which he was concerned. They supply, to some extent also, the loss of the similar instructions which Coronado must have received when he started on his journey in the following February. Let's go. Keep the water flowing. Friar Marcos, accompanied by a lay brother, Friar Honorato, according to Mendoza's premier lettre, left Coliacan on March 7, 1539. Coronado, now acting as governor of New Galatia, had escorted them as far as this town and had assured a quiet journey for a part of the way beyond by sending in advance 6 Indians, natives of this region, who had been, quote, kept at Mexico to become proficient in the Spanish language and attached to the ways of the Christian. So they hijacked them 6 Nagas. The friars proceeded to Petatlin, where Friar Norato fell sick, so that it was necessary to leave him behind. During the rest of the journey, Friar Marcos was the only white man in the party. Okay, they telling you something real clear right there. There's only one white man in the party, so what does everybody else look like? Let's go. All right, which consisted of the Negro Esteban, the Indian interpreters, and a large body of natives. What they look like, who followed him from the different villages near which he passed. The friar continued his journey to Vacapa, Vacapa, which Mr. Bandelier identifies with the Eudeve settlement of Matapa in central Sonora, where he arrived 2 days before Passion Sunday, which in 1539 fell on March 23rd. At this place, he waited until April 6 in order to send to the seacoast and summon some Indians, from whom he hoped to secure further information about the Pearl Islands, of which Cabeza de Vaca had heard. They wanted islands made of pearl, right? They're looking for islands made of pearl near California, near Mexico, Managa. Come on, man. The Negro Esteban had been ordered by the viceroy to obey Friar Marcos and everything, and under pain of serious punishment. Okay, that's their story, right? While the friar was waiting at Vacapa, he sent the Negro. Why'd they send the Negro, Managa? Why did they make the COVID tenderoni everything about us? Why are we now the face of the tenderoni? The first doctor's got to look like us. It's always targeted towards us, targeted towards our communities. Our leaders telling us to do this stuff, right? Come on, man. It's all about us, Managa. He sent the Negro toward the north, instructing him to proceed 50 or 60 leagues and see if he could find anything which might help them in their search. If he found any signs of a rich and populous country, it was agreed that he was not to advance farther, but should return to meet the friar, or else wait where he heard the good news, sending some Indian messengers back to the friar with a white cross the size of the palm of his hand. If the news was very promising, the cross was to be twice the size, and if the country about which he heard promised to be larger and better than Mexico or New Spain, a cross still larger than this was to be sent back. Castaneda preserves the story that Esteban was sent ahead. Listen up for the dismount. Castaneda preserves the story that Esteban was sent ahead not only to explore and pacify the country, He ain't just exploring. He's here to pacify. What does it mean? What does it mean to pacify, my nut? Let's go. To pacify the country. But what else? What else? But also because he did not get on well with his superior, who objected to his eagerness in collecting the turquoises and other things which the natives prized, and to the moral effect of his relations with the women. Whoa! So this nigga Esteban was way out of line, man. He had, unfruitful relationships, you know what I'm saying, with our aquas. He had, um, this nigga done broke the code in every way. He's stealing, he's killing, he's taking the women, passing this evil hijack spirit, you know what I'm saying, Ruach leading this invasion, this Negro's doing it all. And you gotta ask yourself, why the Negro? Why the Negro? Why the Negro? Why send a Negro to the Americas? Why send a Negro to Mexico? Why send a Negro to California? Why send this Negro to Caleluz, Cibola, Hawaku, New Mexico? Why send this Negro, man? Unless the natives, unless the indigenous look just like this Negro. Yeah. Castaneda preserves a story that Esteban was sent ahead not only to explore, but to pacify the country. Not just one city, not just one state. He came to pacify all of Nagaville. He came to pacify the country. And I asked you, what does pacify mean, my Naga? What does it mean? Let's get this for the dismount. That Ahab to my 500 code keeping Nagaz, man. Still surfing the wave, man, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? This information is a vibration, my Naga. 1828, American. Esteban came to America to pacify the American originals, the copper-colored races. Why'd they send a Negro, my Naga? HaWah. These Negroes, these Nagas, these copper-colored Nagas, they were not brought here in a boat. They were found here. In their definition, in their dictionary in 1828, my Naga, you were found here. So at this point, they can't tell you shit about who you are. They can't give you no hogwash story in their history. They just found you. They just found us, man. You were just found here by these Europeans. But what did they look like? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Charles Kento. This is who they're coordinating with while they're in Mexico in the 1500s. You know why? Because this is probably Charles V, Holy Roman Emperor, by virtue of the time frame of his Habsburg jaw. In typical lying albino fashion, this painting is falsely called Balthazar the Moorish king. Oh, 1525, right? 1525, right? The clothing is European. Why? Probably Charles V, Holy Roman Emperor, 1525. This is what Rome is looking like in the 1500s, while Esteban and Cortez and Coronado and Mendoza and all of them is popping off. At the same time I'm reading this right here, Castaneda preserves a story that Esteban was sent ahead not only to explore, but to pacify the country. And we done showed you what black-ass Esteban looks like, just like this. Just like Charles, and he looks just like Charles. Yeah, Holy Roman Emperor Charles V, 1500, 1558, my noggin. You see Charles hijacking the Inca right here. Charles Quinto. Look at these melanated tribes, and here comes another melanated brother with his Christian cross. This is a more on more war. A panel from the painting in the Larco Museum in Lima, Peru, depicting the Inca emperors. These were all emperors. He said one of his people saw the fall of Atahualpa. That means he saw the last Inca king before Charles V hijacked the line of the Inca. This panel shows the last 7 Inca emperors and the subsequent hijack first European. Look at this nigga. Look at this European, so you can stop playing with me. Stop playing with us about this European Spaniard business. This is what they look like. That's why all these people have been whitewashed. Look at these paintings. Look how they tried to whitewash them. Look at the original melanin. They are all melanated, swarthy people. All of them. All of them. All of them. Look at him, man. Look at him, man. Stop playing with us. This is Charles Quinto, Holy Roman Emperor Charles V. This is what it's looking like when they're coming up to the American. These Europeans, first European, what does it say? This panel from the Lima Larco Museum, it depicts the Inca emperors and the subsequent European emperors of the Inca, the subsequent European. Oh, he got on European. It's European. The scepter's European. The orb is European. Because this is a mother-sucking European. This is a European. He's the Holy Roman Emperor. And he's not even a real Romani. He's hijacking the title of the Rimani. Because Rimon in Hebrew, Rimon is pomegranate. And then Joshua and Caleb need to bring back them pomegranates to prove that they were in the promised land. And we saying the promised land is Kalelus, and they up there in Cibola. They in Cibola? They in Cibola, right? Come on, man. Hey, this is a victory lap, man. My Naga, this is a victory lap. Because we've been too far. We've been vibrating too high. They keep talking Cibola, and we keep letting you know that Kalelus is Cibola, and Kalelus is the promised land. So when they're all up in Cibola, sending Estevan, and Estevan's coming not only to explore, but to pacify. Oh, but he's also collecting turquoises and other things which natives prize, and to the moral effect of his relations with the women who followed him from the tribes which they met on their way. Friar Marco says nothing about this in his narrative, but he had a different and much more important ends to accomplish by his report compared with those of Castaneda, which may easily have gathered the gossip from some native. Yeah, we're going to start digging on the Coronado expedition as our American Holocaust series continues. Every Monday, tune in tonight. You know what I'm saying? We're coming in hot. I think we come in at 10 o'clock, 10 or 11. I mean, you know, just tune in, surf the wave at 432 to Drive Radio. I'll be reading this book and continuing it by Naga. That's the journey of Coronado. And they keep talking about Cibola, Cibola, Cibola. We said, man, wasn't there a Cibola that they called Kalelus? This is The Forbidden Histories of America by Daniel Lowe. You already know we've been digging on it. You've been surfing the wave with us? Hey, we've been surfing the wave with you. Okay. Lake Kapala. Remember this lake that's supposed to be super old, millions of years old, one of the oldest spots on Earth, but it's all connected to the Cibola. See, here it says if you look at the map, some of the maps done in the old Latin explorers, even in the 1700s, it is quite obvious that they are lacking in this seeming well-guarded secret of the land of Kalelus or Cibola. Kalelus is Cibola. when we talk about bodies on bodies in America, bodies on bodies in Kalelus, we're talking about the promised land, the American empire, because Kalelus means promised land, and Kalelus means Cibola, and Cibola is Shimbala. And we're talking about Cibola, spelled C-E with a U or a V, some with a C-I-B, Sevola, all right? It's right here near that septum, which means seven. Sitta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cities of gold all around Lake Kapala, right? Sevola, right? Sevola or Kalelus, Khan. And what's Kalelus, my noggin? Belly flop. Belly flop for my Nagaz, man. Hey, only for the real ones in the home team. Can we do it like this? Can we do it like that, man? I mean, I love y'all for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? It's a pleasure to have wave surfers, dedicated so that we don't have to, we can all belly flop together, man. You know what I'm saying? That Cibola is also Shabala or a pure land, but it also means what? Kalelus. And what does Kalelus mean? Yeah. In the article I found, speaking of this fine titled "A Jewish Catholic State in America." Now we're talking about Nagaz in America, Nagaville. It tells some interesting things that, in my understanding, brings many things into perspective concerning the many rumors of early voyages to this land. In the article, it tells of Kalelus, meaning what? Promised land or pure land, like Shambhala or Cibola means pure land, like Cathay means pure land. Like Kalelus means promised land, which is where you get the Remani, right? That's pomegranate. They can't have our titles. That's about the promised land. Or Kali, which is the land of America. America is what? Kalelus is what? Promised land. We're just talking about why they sent a Negro to pacify the native Nagas in America, because they came for the Kalelus, they came for the promised land. They sent Negro Esteban to pacify the copper color races found here for the dismount. What is pacify, my Naga? To appease, pacify, to appease as wrath or other violent passion or appetite. Violent passion for what? Cities of gold, promised land. Violent passion for what? Promised land. Violent passion where? America. Pacify what? Violent passion or appetite for what? Uh-oh. To appease. So they don't want you to have your passion or your appetite. They want their own violent passion, right? So they want to appease you or calm you down. So pacify is referring to them calming down your burning passion, taking your passion away and replacing it with their own violent passion. To appease, to calm, to still, to quiet the Naga, still the Naga, quiet the Naga, stop the Naga, to allay agitation or excitement. So don't be too agitated, my Naga. Don't be too excited. Don't they got their black leaders today doing the same damn thing? Pacify a man when he's angry. You was about to pop off. They gave you Obama to pacify a Naga when you were angry, or to pacify his wrath or rage. They don't want these Nagas going Naga in Nagaville. They don't want your wrath. They don't want your rage. They sent Esteban to pacify your wrath. The word being applied both to the persons and to the passion. So we say to pacify hunger, to pacify importunate demands, to restore peace to whose peace? Because their peace ain't your peace. For them to have peace, they have to pacify. For you to have peace, you need to pop off, but they don't want you to pop off. So they got to pacify his wrath or rage. They don't want a dragon to be dragon. They don't want you to be violent. They don't want no violent passion, because a dragon is a fierce or violent person, male or female, as this man or woman is a dragon. What? A person is a dragon, huh? In their definition in 1828, a dragon, yeah, winged serpent, yeah, okay. Oh, a meteor is a dragon. Did you know that? Meteorology is all about studying dragons. Yep. Okay. A fierce person who's passionate, right? They sent Estevan to pacify your fierce violence so you can't be no dragon. Because that man and that woman, male or female, this man or woman is a dragon. So they sent Estevan to pacify or slay the dragon. Surf the wave, my log. And know that we got that mem sauce. So we can be calm when we want and we can pop off in utter chaos as far as they can see. We could be fiery, we could be passionate. You no longer have to be pacified, stilled and stopped in your tracks. Not when you know that they sent a Naga that looked just like you to pacify you. Why send a Negro to pacify the native Nagaz in America so that they could slay the dragon in America? Shalom to the tribe. We poppin' off. Halal HaWah.